Okay, so when I was here in the past, we talked a lot about video. And are you the video production company that they were talking about that has been making all the videos then? In the area? Okay, so you've been busy, I assume, right? Like, these are the people that you want to talk to. This is who you want to talk to about being active. And of course, like, you know all about video and you know how important it is and how important it is to use. And so what I want to do today, and I'm so glad you're here because I want to now leverage that and take it to the next level about taking video content, taking your content, whatever it may be, and I say whatever it may be because yes, pictures are great, but when we were here before, and it's really cool because I'm going to refer back to that because we were talking about YouTube, we were talking about Facebook, but interestingly enough, since like say 2017, we've gone 18, 19, 20, 21, 4 years. Have you seen the difference of Instagram was predominantly photographs at that time, and now it is predominantly video. And the big change there too was you went from pictures to video to filming from, YouTube is in landscape, and then you're going to now we're talking about different formats in portrait, so we have to think about that now as well. And then you have square videos, and then you've got everything from landscape videos to square videos to portrait videos. Like, it's mind-blowing, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So you need to choose your medium and what's working for you and test the market, and then throw in TikTok. Oh, it's if we don't have enough things to do too, right? So the first thing I kind of want to do too, and also, McKenna, you're going to be my online representative here to everyone out there. I want to know in a few moments, I'll ask you in a minute, I'm just prepping you so that you can tell me in a few minutes here, but I want to know who you are, what your business is, and where you're at right now. What sort of things do you want to accomplish or do you want to overcome, or where are you going with business? Because what we've done over the past 3, 4, even 5 years, but really right now, I want to show you how sharing your content can take your business to the next level. Sharing is a huge key, and then doing it within a community so that you're not working alone. This is the Rise Up series, so I thought that this would be the perfect opportunity to take this concept that we've been doing, and we have developed it. Like I said, it's been more than 5 years, but every time we launch this strategy, it always works. And you can use it in any format that you want, meaning that if let's say we're using it from a tourism standpoint today, right? So let's say we're all from tourism. We might not all be, but let's say we are right now. We could have a campaign where you all make a video, or what I'm going to say a fake live stream. So you're going to pretend that you're actually live hosting something, or you're on location giving a tour, talking about something within your business, but then we're going to air it online afterwards as though it is live. So on Facebook, that would be a premiere. If I say something and you are just like, what the heck is she saying to me? Stop me and I'll explain, or I'll go back and I'll explain it afterwards, okay? Because again, a lot has changed in the past year, let alone 5 years. But what I really found interesting was you would normally just take your content. If you wanted to go do a live stream, you would go live. And I would do programs and say, go live and thrive. And we would do great because with the algorithms, and these are the things, I'm gonna go a bit technical today, okay? And I'm usually very high level, but I wanna dig deep so that you can leave here today with the knowledge that you're gaining from this and go, okay, I'm gonna apply this today. Instead of oh, that was great, wonderful, okay. I want you to apply it because it's the biggest thing is you get all of this content, you go to a conference, you go to a workshop, you get it, and then you have busy lives, and then you don't get to apply it, okay? So the big takeaway here in the algorithms was when you went live, the back end, say of Facebook, would put your content, or even YouTube, would put your content higher in the rankings because you were going live and they wanted you to go live. At one point, it was Facebook, right? Now, this competition between YouTube and Facebook with video, with live streaming, they're in constant competition. So the more you play their game of going live, then you will go higher in the rankings of the algorithm. Now, the interesting part is, and I've tested the waters and the theories with this over and over and over again, if you take a video and you put it onto Facebook, let's say, and you can either just post it, boom, it goes out there. You could schedule it. It's going to go on at 11 o'clock today, or you could premiere it meaning it is going to have like a little live button saying you're live, and it looks as though you're live. That's the one I prefer because for some crazy reason, it's not crazy reason, they want you to live stream. And only about 11% of businesses actually live stream. So it's a huge key takeaway today to use that technology or even that technique for your business to, again, I always say go live and thrive, because a lot of people will make the video and just post it. Now, take your video, schedule it as a premiere, as a live stream, and when you're filming your content, pretend that you're in that moment so it looks like you're there. And I will, even if I'm editing things sometimes, so let's say we're doing a fundraising campaign, I'll use an example for the United Way, for example. Remember, we pre-taped a live stream, but we were going to have multiple locations for people. So I might have been in this one area and then throw to downtown by the city hall for something else. And then this other restaurant had sponsored the sandwiches for something. So what we made it look like, even though we taped it all out of sync, we threw to like, oh, I'm gonna go throw to Jeff now over here at Circle Foods or wherever we might be, right? And so we threw to that, thanks Melissa. Little things like that by just pretending and thinking, what would that be like? And just think of breakfast television. You've got your anchor, you've got your co-hosts that are out, or your reporters that are out in the field. Treat it kind of like that, and it can be very conversational. It doesn't have to be all fancy. I mean, sometimes when I go out, I have, this is my little tickle trunk of things, but I have like little microphones and things, and I will go out, but that's my background, right? Like, I don't expect you to pull out like, hey everybody, welcome. Like, who has that, right? But you can do it with simple things, and I'll show you some tools like simple microphones, things like this, like just so that you can be heard and seen. That's the key, right? Like, as long as you've got great audio. I mean, today filming outside, always use your outdoors because one, it's beautiful this time of year. Two, the lighting is perfect outside. And the only thing you want to watch outside would be your wind and lighting, too much sun sometimes, but maybe cars and trucks passing by, that kind of thing. Now, I kind of zoomed ahead and jumped in there, but I wanted to mention that because what we're going to do today, and with everyone online as well, I want to get to know your businesses, and I think today we could walk away with planning a community program that could be executed so that, picture this, each of you have your own live stream. You have it could be a 3-month campaign. You could be launching a video once a week, twice a week. I'm going to get into optimal days of when posting. Posting has changed too, when you're looking for optimal posting dates. If you're doing something like a community campaign, you want to train your audience so that they're going to tune in. So every Tuesday at 11 o'clock or every Thursday at 11 o'clock, it's the something, something, something. And then the other part of this campaign too that we've been working on and launched in various communities and different situations. Like I said, it could be for tourism, it could be to promote awareness for a campaign for you're raising money for hospice or the United Way or Optimism Place. Every time we do it though, we have a very similar strategy. And so I'm gonna divulge that to you today. And I think that it would be very beneficial for all of you to team up, so to speak, so that you're not working by yourself, you're working together as a community. Now you could do that as a community, or another thing I want to focus on today too is you could see and connect some dots similarly in here where you could be working together, where it could be something like you have a particular business, but maybe you're then on location and you're doing something at somebody else's location simultaneously. The key there is that when you take your business, somebody else's business, and so on and so forth, you have more opportunity to share. That's the key, because one share does not equal one view and one like. One share could equal hundreds of views, thousands of views. And so when we do this in a community, and let's say we have 10, 20, 30 businesses involved in this. So an example that we just did was, a perfect example would be, you know how you couldn't have home shows because of COVID, right? You couldn't have a home show with all the businesses. So with the Builders Association, we had a community parade. And anybody, any business could partake in it, whether you were a member or non-member. The price was just slightly different. If you were a non-member, it was like a 20% discount if you were a member. And then you would have this live stream and it would air. And what we did was we had a pool of money, and the winner could how did we work that? We had the winner would win $2,000 to spend however they liked at any of the participating businesses. So there's also this what's in it for me factor as well for the people sharing. They're entered to win because they've shared it. If they get drawn, then they could also be a winner that way too. So it's a really layered effect strategy that I want to share with you today, but when you do it and you launch something like this, it really works, because what will happen is, let's say your Facebook page has 100 followers or 100 likes. When you then tag up, maybe this business has like 1,000 followers and 1,000 likes, and like, I didn't know about this business, but what they're gonna do in that campaign is share your content for you. It's working together, so everybody has to help each other out in some way, shape, or form a little bit, but when you do it, it really does work. So what we're focusing on here today is your content, your creativity, and your consistency. Consistency is probably the hardest one, right? And you use something like COVID, where businesses come to a screeching halt and you go, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And how do I figure this out? And we all, I hate the word pivot, but we all kind of moved and we pivoted, and we had to figure out how people think now, and people's buying habits are slightly different, and what they're doing is slightly different, and now we're appealing to them in slightly different ways. And even, the supply chain has changed as well, right? Like, we can't get things as readily as possible, so we have to deal with this. So the first thing, I always say this, if we did all the things we're capable of doing, we would astound ourselves. And this is where, you're sitting in the chairs today and you're like, I've got this great idea. And what happens is, a lot of the times we have this great idea, and then we let it go to the wayside because life gets in the way and we get busy. And so my hope today is that you take whatever epiphany, whatever idea you have today, and you run with it, and you start it today or tomorrow, but this week, because if you don't start now, you won't do it. And I go back to, so just a little bit of background too. I mean, you saw that promo piece there, but I've probably worked in every sector, every industry, started as a kid working in a toy store. So it was all about the experience, right? And that's what we're delivering to our customers online, is that experience. And what they see of you online in your social should be what they get from you in person. That's the most daunting thing that I've ever seen, and probably working in news, when you have an anchor or someone and you have this envision of them, of who they are and what they're all about, and then you meet them in person and they're nothing like what you thought they were, right? So that's what we don't want, first and foremost, but we always want to create some kind of an experience for our customers. And that experience comes from your joy, your love, your passion for what it is that you do. It really does. So going from toys to news to radio to working on a cruise ship to working in weather to all of these different things, I kind of went back to my roots, and I always go back to the one thing, and it's lasted with me probably for the past 23 years. And someone said it to me once, and I always end talks like this, but I always start with the end in mind. How do you want people to remember you? How do you want your customers to remember you? So when they're talking and raving about what it is, what experience they had, or what it is they're doing, what are they saying about you? Because the reason I'm saying this is we're gonna get into the psychology of sharing, because not everybody will share. Even if they love you, just not everybody will share. It's just the way it is.